Alright guys, welcome to Gusto Trends. Once again today, thank you so much for always liking, for sharing, for subscribing, for telling your friends about every great thing that we do right here at Gusto TV. We truly appreciate every one of you. Y'all are the realest MVPs. Yes. So today we have something very interesting for you on Gusto Trends. Yes. It's a Burna Boy special. The African giant himself, the Odogu, the only one that is standing twice as tall at the moment, Damini Eboluwa Ogulu, is in the news. And of course, Burna Boy just released a twice as tall album. Everyone talking about that particular album right now. This album, man, it is really good. WIZKID, Techno, Tubabad, and Jazzy, everyone hailing and certifying the album that is executive produced by Diddy, and of course had Timbaland as well. But on social media, fans have been rating the album to say, you know what, this is Burna Boy's, this album is really good. Some are saying, nah, it's not really good. Some are saying, no, it's just average and everything. Yes, so that has made fans actually start to compare Burna Boy's albums over the years. Now, Burna Boy, as we all know, has about 4 EPs to his name and 5 albums. That is 9 major projects. In 2011, there was the Born Identity, the EP. There was also the Born Notice, the EP as well. There was Steel and Copper, the EP in 2016. And of course, there was the Redemption EP as well. That is 4 major EPs to Burna Boy's name at the moment. Now, talking about albums, Burna Boy has had 5 major albums alongside Twice as Tall at the moment. And people have been asking, what exactly would you consider as Burna Boy's biggest album yet? So, talking about the Burna Boy feature right now and the Burna Boy special, we rank Burna Boy's major albums, his top 3 major albums that Burna Boy has ever had. This is my own list. You would have to tell me your own list as well, in a particular order. Yes, in a particular order, I'm going to rank Burna Boy's 3 major top albums ever out of the 5 albums. So we start, right? Let's go to number 3. Number 3, we have the very major album, his first album, his debut album that was released August 12, 2013. That was Life. Life is the name of that album, L-I-F-E. That album came out August 12, 2013, had singles like to Party. It has singles like Run My Race. There was Yawa Day. There was Always Love You. Burna Boy also had Tonight as one of the lead singles of that album. That album was really good. Came out. Also had the album had Tuaba and of course Timaya on that particular album as well. There was WIZKID on Just Love Is True on that particular album. Everyone loved the album. It was really good. Burna Boy's first major album. Even at that time, it was still considered underrated. But then everyone started rating Burna Boy. You know what? This guy is really good. Like to Party is a jam. Run My Race is a mad Afrobeat jam as well. There's also Tonight. Everybody picked their favorite from that particular album and they rocked to it till the fullest. And they were saying, you know what, Burna Boy, give us more. We need more from you. Lyric was the producer for that album. He produced all the songs, even the deluxe version of that, that album. He produced them as well. Lyric was the only producer on that album. At that time, Burna Boy was still signed to Aristocrat Records, and of course, it was a really good debut project by the Odogu himself, Don Gogon. Burna Boy. I mean, Burna and WIZKID have they go way back, as far back as 2013, 2012, and it's good that they are still feeling themselves even till now. Of course, that is my number 3 out of the top 3 Burna Boy albums ever till date. Yes, top 3 Burna Boy album. Number 3, we have Life. So to number 2. Number 2 is the recent one. Yes, we know that people have been saying, oh, Burna Boy, this, Burna Boy, that. But yes, at my number 2, I've got the Twice as Tall album. I mean, level up now, level up, and know that this is my number 2. Yes, Burna Boy on August 14th actually released his 5th studio project, yes, album actually, and he named that Twice as Tall. Executive produced by Diddy, and everyone has been raving about the song right now. Top 3, in the Apple Music, iTunes World Albums chart. It's been a whole lot. UK album chart as well. Burna Boy 5 million streams in 1 hour on Audio Mark. Burna is really going in on this particular Twice as Tall album. 15 tracks. We've got Bebo, we've got Time Flies, we've got a song, Chris Martin. Like, how would you feature Coldplay on your song? And then you saw the legendary Senegalese singer on your album as well. You also, we also have Stormzy on that one. Sauti Sol came through on Time Flies, and it's been really amazing. Everyone enjoying Twice as Tall. Burna Boy doing his thing on that particular album, and of course, that is my number 2. Producers on the album, we know we have P2J. Yes, we know we have Tels as well. That's the fun killer himself. There's Rexy on that particular album as well. Everybody has been hailing everyone involved in that album. No Nigerian on that album, no Nigerian featured on that album. WIZKID, Davido, Tiwa Savage, Zlatan, not on that album at all. But of course, it is a major masterpiece. 15 tracks, and I personally am loving that song, Baby Onyeka. Yes, that's the name of that particular track. It's really banging. Burna Boy did majorly on the song, on the album Twice as Tall. Everyone loved the techno, to Don Jazzy, to Tubaba, to everybody. Even Diddy talked about the fact that that album is an African message to everyone out there in the world, for you to see yourself as an African, see yourself as a black person, and appreciate your color. Burna Boy already, is out with the album of the year according to Diddy. Yes, that's what Diddy is saying, that this particular album, the Twice as Tall album, is already the album of the year. We don't know how true that is, because WIZKID has not dropped, Davido has not dropped, Tiwa has not dropped, every other person has not dropped. Burna is leading the way, and already he's doing a very good job. To my number 1 album from Burna Boy. I mean, we told you about the fact that number 3, we had Live, that was released August 12, 2013, and of course we have the Twice as Tall August 14, 2020. Yes, almost 7 years, like exactly 7 years later, Burna Boy's 5th studio album, Twice as Tall. That's my number 2. Now to the number 1 album, the best Burna Boy album ever. No capping at all for me. I would go with that album that gave him the name, the moniker, the African Giant. We know about the fact that that album is really good. Now, let me tell you a bit about the African Giant album. Burna Boy was meant to perform at Coachella. Yeah? So they were put like a couple of artists' names and everything, big font, small font and everything. And Burna Boy's name came up in small font. That was in April last year. Went to the organizers of Coachella. Guys, I'm the African Giant. My name should not be in small font and everything. People mocked him at that time, saying, why is Burna Boy? Why is he ranting? I mean, it's just a name. You're performing on the main stage and everything. He said, no, they must respect Africa and everything. I am the African Giant and all of those things. And Burna Boy talked about the fact that he had an album already that he already prepared in 2018, ready for 2019, but he had to delete the album right there and then and say, you know what, I'm coming up with a new album that I will name African Giant. And then in July 2019, Burna Boy came up with the African Giant. Before the album, he's released a couple of singles. There's Burna, there's On The Low, there's Pull Up. Yes, there's also like Dangote also came up, before the album, dropped, and a lot of people could not wait for that particular album. Just like Lyric with the Live album, KLP was one of the major producers on this album. Burna Boy had a concert in 2018, and the day of the concert, he released a song in the morning. Yes, that was Killing Them. Now, Killing Them went on to become one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Nigerian song of 2019. With Zlatan Ibile, Killing Them, produced by KLP, destroyed everywhere at that time. And Burna Boy really did well. So there was Killing Them, there was Burna, there was On The Low, there was Dangote, and of course there was Anybody Will Like to Surgery. Now comes something. So that song actually was like a major topping for Burna Boy before he dropped the African Giant album. Now, African Giant album, we know, also has a couple of songs. There's Wetin Man Go Do, there's Gumbody with Georgia Smith, there's also On The Low. Yes, On The Low there was Omo on that one, Another Story featuring Manifest. Burna Boy also featured Angelique Kidjo and Damian Marley on one of the singles, Different. and that song was actually different. It made the African Giant album very, very different. Burna Boy's album, The African Giant, also made a lot of lists as regards best albums of 2019. It was on the Billboard Best Album 2019, Pitchfork Best Album of 2019. It was on Complex Best Album of 2019. It was on so many other USA Billboard Top 200. Burna Boy's album was on number 104. That's a massive, massive one for the African Giant himself. The Odogu came up with African Giant, and we can say for a fact, for me, that album is one of Nigeria's best ever albums ever released by a Nigerian artist. Already the album crossed, this album is just too much. That particular album, some days ago, crossed the over 1 billion streams. Just after Davido's A Good Time, Burna Boy's African Giant crossed over 1 billion streams on all platforms, and that's a major one. The second Afrobeat album to cross that particular mark after A Good Time by Davido. The second Afrobeat artist to cross that mark after Davido. So Burna Boy is really doing well for himself. Twice As Tall is out, but it's number 2 on my list. Number 1 on my list is African Giant because of the quality of that album, the featured artists, and of course the way the album was produced. KLP, P2J produced as well. A lot of other artists, TMXO, produced on that particular one. Lyric was not on the album, but of course on this one, Lyric was on Twice As Tall and on Life. So yes, that is my top 3 Burna Boy albums. Yes, we told you, number 3, we had Life. Number 2, Twice As Tall. Number 1, we have the African Giant album. The Odogu himself came through on that one, and that album is still doing some massive numbers at the moment. Rolling Stone also, gave that album one of their albums of the year as well. Burna Boy, got like a lot of, gold certification in France. Yes, on that particular album, a track of that album as well. A lot of charts in Belgium, in the US, in Finland, in Sweden. Burna Boy really did a whole lot with the African Giant album, and I know for sure, for me, that is my number 1 song. Let us know what you think. Which is your first, second, third Burna Boy albums ever? Which is your top Burna Boy albums ever? He has 5 albums and 4 EPs. Yes, 5 albums is on the low end. There's the Life album, there's the Twice As Tall, there's African Giant, Outside, and On a Spaceship. The EPs, let me remind you once again, Still and Copper. He has Born Identity, he has Born Notice, and of course he has that one, Redemption. Yes, that 4 EPs, 5 albums, 9 major projects from the Odogu himself. Easy. And of course, congrats to Burna Boy on the latest one, Twice As Tall. That's all I have, guys, on Gospel Trends today. Thank you so much for always being there for us, for watching, for liking, subscribing, for telling your friends, and of course for jamming that new Burna Boy album, The Twice As Tall. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next trend. For me, it's Shifumi here, and God bless you.